Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. Let's kick things off tonight with a look at the forecast. Right now, most of the inland Northwest is under a flood watch. Meteorologist Michelle Boss in live in the weather studio tonight, tracking the very latest. Michelle?
Yeah, kind of hard to believe it's been so hot and dry the last 3 days, but we do have some stormy weather on the way, and these storms are going to have the potential to dump a lot of heavy rain. It's going to be one of those cases where, like in previous storms, you might get one area that sees an inch of rain and another area barely getting a drop. But for those that do get a lot, we could be seeing some flooding in some parts of the inland Northwest. Taking a look at satellite and radar right now, the direction you're going to be wanting to watch for these storms is out of the southeast. That's where those storms are going to be coming through. We have one wave moving through tonight, but it looks like this wave is going to fizzle out before it makes it into the inland Northwest. So as you can see, some of these storms are on the approach and then kind of dying out as they push into far southeastern Washington and through the southern Idaho panhandle. But that won't be the case tomorrow afternoon. We have another wave that's going to come through that should bring storms all across the inland Northwest. And so we do have flood watches for all those areas shaded in green, again, with the potential for some heavy rains and flooding through Friday morning. Right now, temperatures are very mild out there, and it may start to feel a little bit on the muggier side over the next couple of days as we see that surge of moisture move into the region. 78 in Spokane, 74 in Coeur d'Alene, still in the upper 70s in Moses Lake, and mid 80s right now in Lewiston at the 10 o'clock hour. Short-term forecast, though, keeps it pretty quiet overnight with partly cloudy skies. Very mild night with lows in the lower 60s. It will be another hot day tomorrow. We'll stay out of the 90s because of some stormy weather for the afternoon, but should see those temperatures drop back into the 70s for Friday and Saturday.
All right, sounds good, Michelle. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Meantime, tens of millions of Americans are facing air quality alerts across the country tonight as Canada suffers what officials say is shaping up to be the nation's worst wildfire season ever. In New York, air quality plummeted to hazardous levels, with the governor there calling the situation an emergency crisis. The orange smoky haze enveloped parts of the Northeast today, making iconic scenes across New York City's skyline unrecognizable tonight.
It's a serious issue. You can't exercise outside. People with asthma and respiratory disease can't stay outside for long. What do you do about it when another country is responsible for your pollution?
Smoke from the fires is expected to continue to impact the Northeast as well as spread further south throughout the week this week. Well, back home, Washington State has a new tool for fighting wildfires, and just in time for what could be a bad fire season. This is the Kodiak K100. It arrived last month and can fly longer and faster than other aircraft that the Department of Natural Resources uses for wildfires. The plane also has an infrared camera and the ability to send live images of fires' hotspots, growth, and surrounding terrain instantly to field crews. The new communication that is possible with the Kodiak is also a welcome update that is expected to reduce fire risks.
They're looking at what we're looking at out there. So we're giving that incident commander, operations officer, the best situational awareness they can have on the fire, greatly, affecting how they're engaging that fire and increasing firefighter safety.
The state paid more than $4 million for the Kodiak and is expected to purchase a second one later this month. This brings the state's firefighting fleet up to 28 aircraft. We have more wildfire season coverage right now on KREM 2 Plus. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo is breaking down the wildfire season forecast. If you don't yet have KREM 2 Plus, you can download it for free on Roku and on Amazon Fire. Happening right now, we are tracking the North Idaho College Board of Trustees meeting. At tonight's meeting, the board approved the college's 2024 budget but disagreed on a new attorney for the college. In the final weeks before a decision on its accreditation, North Idaho College submitted its official plea to the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities. In that report, board members listed several changes the school has made since March, including intensive training with consultants. NWCCU will meet again on June 23rd to review NIC's accreditation status. We will have the very latest from tonight's meeting on KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. And new tonight, the Spokane Public School Board voted to join a lawsuit against multiple social media platforms. During tonight's meeting, board members voted unanimously to join the class action lawsuit against popular social media apps such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Snapchat. In January, Seattle Public Schools became the first school district in the nation to sue those social media companies. Now about 100 other districts are joining in on the fight. And that comes as the U.S. Surgeon General says policymakers, tech companies, and families should make social media safer. They cite a profound risk of harm to young Americans. Some high schoolers describe social media as being ingrained in the culture right now. But Spokane Public Schools isn't alone. Seattle Public Schools says concerning side effects are rising as social media use is rising. Pediatricians are saying it can lead to anxiety, depression, eating disorders, even suicidal thoughts.
These kids might see shocking images of violence, pornography. They just don't know what to do with it, and that can be very harmful.
Seattle Public Schools' goal is to get them to change how they operate and fund programs needed to fix the mental health damage. We are learning more about Dawes Eddy, the Spokane climber who went missing on Mount Rainier late last month. The 80-year-old had once had the record for being the oldest person to summit Mount Everest. KREM 2's Nathan Hyun has more now about who Eddy was and his impact on the climbing community.
Earlier today, I had the chance to talk with Eddy's neighbor, who tells me that Eddy was one of the most kind and humble people he ever met. But for Spokane climbers, Eddy was a legend.
Certainly anytime we lose a local legend like that, it's just, there's such a wealth of knowledge that comes from older, more experienced climbers that's just lost anytime someone passes away, whether from natural causes or in the mountains. So that's super devastating.
Nathaniel Kerber is an avid hiker and mountain climber. He actually climbed Mount Rainier on Friday, the day park rangers started searching for Dawes Eddy.
We saw this helicopter hovering for like probably a couple hours, just spinning around and at, I don't know, 9 a.m. in the morning, and we were like, dude, what is that about? So that would definitely make sense.
5 days later, park rangers found a man in a crevasse matching the description of Eddy. He was once the oldest man to summit Mount Everest. He was climbing Mount Rainier for the 50th time to celebrate his 80th birthday. Nathaniel says he's sad but not surprised of what happened.
Experience does not make you safe, even if, especially as a soloist, that's just objectively way more dangerous.
Nathaniel planned on taking the same route Eddy did, but after looking at safety reports, he decided to take another route.
Yeah, buddy.
It's part of what happens with mountaineering. There's certain gambles you have to make, but the experience, the thrill, the success, the accomplishment.
John Macias is another local climber. He didn't know Eddy personally, but knows the impact Eddy leaves.
It's a huge loss. Someone having so much experience, being such a legend in the community, it's an enormous loss.
According to Mount Rainier National Park, park rangers changed the primary route from the Ingram Direct, which is the route Eddy took, to Disappointment Cleaver on Saturday because of significant crevassing. And to be clear, officials are only saying that a climber that matched Eddy's description was found dead in a crevasse on the Ingram Glacier at 11,500 feet. The Pierce County Medical Examiner will release the climber's identity. In the newsroom, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.
And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The man who shot and killed a Hauser Lake man last year entered a Alford plea today. That means he acknowledged there is enough evidence to convict him while he still maintains his innocence. In February of last year, Adam Bennett attacked a 77-year-old man, taking his gun and killing him with it. He also shot at 2 other people, hitting one in the leg. He'll be sentenced in September. Prosecutors will recommend that he be sentenced to life in prison. The man charged with killing 4 University of Idaho students last year does not want cameras in the courtroom. According to court filings, it's because of social media posts made about him that overanalyze his body language. So far, a judge has allowed cameras in every hearing, but a motion filed yesterday states that Kohberger and his attorneys want more limited camera use in the courtroom. His attorneys say under his 6th Amendment right, he has a right to a fair trial, and more access to viewing Kohberger in hearings could unfairly prejudice the trial, they argue. Happening tomorrow, the family of Kaylee Gonzalez plans to celebrate their late daughter's birthday this week by encouraging others to do what they love. She was one of the 4 University of Idaho students killed in a house in Moscow, Idaho. Kaylee would have been 22 years old tomorrow. Her family will be celebrating it as Kaylee Jade Day, and people can honor her life and legacy by purposefully doing something they love to do. You can share how you're celebrating Kaylee's Day by using the hashtag Kaylee Jade Day on social media. And that was your KREM 2 News 10. That was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them right to your phone.